Good morning everyone. I was starting to feel a little bit rooted, so I've decided to go out to the beach and have a look to find some, I think I'm going to look for some pigments. So I'm going up to a beach that I know that usually has some really interesting colours, so yeah, I thought I'd take you with me. Can you hear the skylarks? I don't actually know if you can, but they're singing their hearts out. It's absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful. Right, let's go. Here we are. So we're actually, so the Broch of Guinness, or Guinness, is just there, which is an Iron Age site, an Iron Age rock. And the beach, actually I didn't check the tide times, I just decided I was coming out for some fresh air, so there isn't actually as much beach exposed, but there is a little bit just below the Broch there, so we'll go for a wander down there anyway. It was all about getting out in the fresh air, to be perfectly honest, and just, yeah, just connecting with my surroundings and, yeah, breathing the sea air. Put my coat on because it's really cold, and we'll go down onto the beach. I might see actually if I can show you a bit of the Broch as well. Okay. I've actually got my other tripod. I should probably change over so that I don't have to like bend down to the camera. Yeah, so I'll do that in a minute, but I just wanted to show you these. The light is really poor today. It's been a really sort of soggy couple of days, windy. Let me see if I can just get an adjustment. Okay, so what you're looking at is a range of sort of oranges and reds, and there's quite a lot of iron, so they're sort of ionized. You get these lovely reds. We've got sandstones and ochres here, all really beautiful shades of, I love this. Go look at the contrast in that, how yellow that is compared to these reds, and this one's really red. I don't know if you can see that. It's got quite a lot in it. So what's interesting about these is, when I've worked with them before, is that some of the colour is actually just on the outside of the stone. So when you crack it, you can see the coloration on the outside, and the inside's like grey or something. And that's the sort of ionised sort of build-up. I'm honestly, I work with pigments, but I'm not a geologist, so at the moment I'm just trying to get my head around how all these things work. But yeah, what I'm looking for is colour, and we've got quite a range of colour. I'm loving this one actually. Good morning. I didn't continue filming on that grey day. I really, I just wanted to enjoy being outside, so I'm picking up here, and you can see that today is a
beautiful, beautiful blue skies. I'm hoping you can hear the skylarks singing again because they're really enjoying the sunshine. And it's one of those rare Orcadian days where it's really still. So it's absolutely perfect for getting out into the garden and filming this for you. The sun's a little bit bright here in my little corner, but I'm hoping that you can see me okay. So what I wanted to do was just show you the beds we've been working on. It's been quite a process, as you know if you've been following along, but for those of you that are new here, we started this restoration project in the garden in sort of mid-February time, and the garden had been not neglected purposefully, but not mismanaged even, just not managed, let's say, for the last couple of years. And as a consequence of that, although there was a sort of garden layout here with actually, with lots of plants in, the couch grass had actually just grown over everything, and so what you could see, and I will pop some sort of past images in here for comparison, but what you could see was just a sea of grass, and I had no idea what I was going to find once I started trying to clear it. So I started plodding on one little area at a time, a rake, trying to just drag everything out. So yeah, it's been a long process. We're in the beginning of April now, and we've seen huge amounts of progress, and we're steadily watching everything sort of come up now as well, which is really lovely because we had no idea what was here, or a rough idea what was here. But it's nice to watch things emerge and start to move things around a little bit. But anyway, for the purpose of this video, I wanted to share with you the no-dig beds that we're doing. So there had been a vegetable patch in this area that we are tackling. We made a very conscious decision to, and I'm going to say whereas is possible because these roots were everywhere, we're not digging the beds. And so what we've done is we've put a layer of cardboard down on top of areas that we've cleared, too thick, like 2 layers thick, so one running one way, one in the next way, and left no soil or sort of space underneath, no gaps, and that's really important so you don't get anything pushing through. And then we've put a layer of compost over, and that's where we're leaving it for this season because actually we want to get on with using it. And we've got our seed potatoes ready to put in in the next few days actually. And what we'll do is we'll keep adding to that. And the theory with the no-dig method is that you are increasing the nutrients within the soil, and by not disturbing it, obviously you've got the things around sort of releasing carbon, which you don't want to do as much as possible, but also not sort of disturbing the chemistry or biodiversity within the soil. Right, see if you can see me. Hopefully you can see me and hear me properly. But this is our bed, and you can see that up the side here, you can see just the edge of the cardboard. So this vegetable bed is actually 2 halves. I'll show you in a second. And we've done the 1 half currently. We did it a bit systematically because we've actually bought potatoes to put in here. And like I say, we're going to get those in really shortly. But we've got this second half to do. In the second half, we're going to put sort of legumes, sort of beans and bits and bobs in, sort of spinach and things. It's a little bit trial and error due to the fact that it's new, and there's lots of things to consider here. And although we've got a sort of stone wall around us, we are sort of subject to high winds, but also salt spray. And so we've got the lock at the front, and the sea isn't that far away, and so what you get on a bad storm day is a lot of, sort of salt wash coming across with the rain, etc. And this can actually cause sort of burning. And I did notice actually that the ivy behind me where I was sitting just now has actually got salt burn on it, and I'll show you that. So we have to consider all these things, and so what we're doing is we're planting in the soil, like vegetable wise, what we fancied. I'm I'm sort of fingers crossed it's all going to grow outside. If it ends up being a total sort of disaster, or not a total disaster, partial disaster, what we'll end up doing, I think, is putting up a small polycrub. And polycrub is a kind of like, think polytunnel cross greenhouse, I suppose. Polytunnels, as you can imagine, in these high winds don't last very long here. The sheeting just doesn't stand a chance. Actually the glass in greenhouses can be quite susceptible too if it's not really well sheltered. So on Shetland they came up with this idea for what's called a polycrub, and the polycrub is made with plastic tubing, which is actually from the salmon industry, which forms the sort of base of it, the hoops of it if you like, and it's then a system of putting that onto poles and using a sort of wood frame for the rest of it, but then we put rigid plastic on the outside and bolt it on, and this forms a really solid little structure, and absolutely perfect for these islands where the wind is absolutely just mental on days. So if things don't go as we plan, we will plan to put a polycrub up on the back here, and we have got the plastic sheeting ready, and we've been researching the salmon pipes in order to get that organised. But yeah, we're just going to leave it at this year. So we've got compost. What we will do probably, well not probably, definitely, is get another layer of compost over this, but it may well be like purchased compost and then composted bark as well. So we just keep this cycle of feeding up and get these nutrients built up, because a lot of this food's going to need to be fed. And that really is it. That's as much as we're doing for this time. Now, I don't know whether it'll be easier in the long term to make this into raised beds. That way we managed to like keep building it and building it. We could, and it also makes it easier actually for maintenance, because what we've done is we've split this, because we plan to put some sort of like stones or something up here so that we can actually weed properly, because like big beds like this, they're a nightmare for weeding because you're constantly sort of walking across them. Raised beds would actually be a lot simpler, but that's the long game. Hi. I was going to film in the garden room, and then I went in there. It was just so warm. So we're sitting just outside, just outside the house, just on the edge of the garden. It's a really beautiful day, really still actually, so really lovely. But I just wanted to finish off this video. I started the video earlier on in the week, and I've been really poorly, and yeah, I felt the need to sort of come back and just finish off again, because I filmed the footage once, and yeah, I looked like I was sick, so I left it a few days, which means that this video is actually a week later than it should be. But I wanted to show you some books that I have. I picked them up for my birthday actually, but yeah, I haven't read any of them yet. I started with this one, which I'll show you first. So this one's called Four Hedges, and It's actually a gardening book, and it's in the 1930s. A lady takes on a garden. She's never gardened before, so she's very much learning as she goes. So it's almost like a journal. It's set out monthly, which is quite a common way to set books out, I think, when you're talking about nature, which sort of makes sense, doesn't it? But she describes everything that she's learning to do and everything that's taking place in the garden at that time. And it's really quite interesting because she's coming at it from a place of not really having gardened before, and so it's not full of Latin words and complicated things. She's literally finding a plant and trying to identify it, and then, you know, she's sort of taking ownership of this little garden that she's got. And so yeah, it's really lovely, actually, really lovely. So I think it's based. Oh yeah, the other thing of significance about this is that she did engravings, and so the pictures in here, if you can see them, are sort of woodcuts of her prints, and so there's quite a few of those dotted through. So there's flowers and at the beginnings of chapters and things. But yeah, quite lovely. Oh, I like this one actually. Look at that, like planting the trees. That's a really lovely one. So yeah, I can recommend that one. Like I said, I have not finished it yet, so yeah, I don't know fully to give you a full review of it, but yeah, I picked that one up. And this one I picked up, this is the 4 women who saved the English countryside, and this is to do with 4 ladies that were really active in saving different parts of Britain, and the significance of their sort of actions during the time. So the 4 people we have are Octavia Hill. Now, Octavia Hill was one of the founder members of the National Trust. Beatrix Potter, I'm a huge Beatrix Potter fan. She was a really incredible lady and a real advocate for the heritage of the landscape in the Lake District. So if you've never actually read her background story, you should really try and read a little bit, because she's just fascinating. She on the back of all the sort of books that we're very familiar with, she spent her money on farms in the area and retained the sort of traditional farming, and she was really into her sort of heritage flocks of sheep and things. So yeah, that's really good. And then we have Pauline Dower. Yeah, these 2 I've not heard of before. So Pauline Dower and Sylvia Sayer. And Pauline was to do with the National Park of Northumberland, and Sylvia Sayer was Dartmoor. So they were very vocal. I think they were like the commission for the countryside. That was Pauline. And Sylvia Sayer, if I remember rightly, had something to do with the National Parks Act in the 1940s. So yeah, quite significant women who in their own way are responsible for parts of our national parks in this country. So yeah, quite brilliant. But I can't give you a full review of it, but I will when I've read it. But I just really liked the idea of reading about women in conservation roles in the early part of the century. That really appealed to me. I really love the picture. Can you see that up there? The shepherdess, really brilliant. And this one again, countryside advocate. So this one's called Ethel, and it's about, what's her name? Ethel Haythorne Waite, and she really loved the Peak District, and so she made lots of noise about the different areas of Peak District that were threatened. And again, what we have is the Peak District National Park, which is you know, very, very well preserved, conserved, because of women like Ethel sort of speaking out. It's really hard to describe a book, isn't it, when you've not read it. And I don't actually agree with the theory that you never judge a book by its cover, because I always like the covers. I think that's what draws me to them. If they've got nice artwork or something interesting going on the cover, I'm sucked straight in. So yeah, I just wanted to share those 3 things with you that I'm dipping into at the moment, because actually I'm still reading lots of research papers, and so these are my kind of dip in. So yeah, 3 to think about if you're looking for a conservation, countryside, nature kind of conversation. Yeah, so that's it, and I'm going to finish this video here. I think I've shared quite a lot about the garden with you, but yeah, because I was poorly, it felt sort of I didn't really do a lot in regards to my artwork or anything this week, and so it's all been very much going out and having a bit of a potter in the garden for a little bit of therapy really, and just some fresh air, and just doing a little bit of weeding here and there where I could. So hopefully next time we will have sort of made some progress, and I can show you a few more things, and yeah, definitely get back to creating some art. So for now, I hope you're having beautiful weather and that spring is starting to arrive, that you've got beautiful flowers or your trees are blooming. But whatever you've got and whatever space you've got, take some time to enjoy it, and yeah, just soak up some nature, and I will speak to you really soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.